Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we're back in AFK Journey and I wanted to make a guide for the endless mode of the Alpha Bear Dream Realm boss because he is one of the more difficult bosses, just like the Lone Gaze. And in endless mode is when Merrily as your damage dealer is going to shine once again, and so it's really important that you try to get Merrily to Mythic Plus in order to be as effective as you can in this team. Okay, so here's the team that I've been running, and in my opinion, this is the dream team that you should be aiming for. Reinier at Mythic Plus is going to be a part of every Dream Realm boss in this battle team. So if you don't have him, then you can replace him with another debuffer. For example, Thorin is a fine option, and Thorin does pretty well in the Alpha Bear as well to tank out the front line in melee range. And in Alpha Bear, you will need to have one hero who is tanking the front line, because otherwise, if there is no one in melee range of the boss, he will deal massive damage to all of your team. Now what I want to do is I want to show you that even with Thorin, this team can be very effective. And we will just run a team like in this position, have Thorin protect the Merrily, or Odie, it doesn't really matter, I think. Yeah, let's try like this. Okay, so the reason why Thorin is a really good option, even without Mythic Plus, is that his Soul Plunder is going to be causing the damage to receive 17% more damage, whereas Reinier Mythic Plus causes the boss to receive 25% more damage. So of course Reinier's is higher, but Thorin is not bad in comparison. And Thorin can tank the front for you, so you don't need your Odie to be tanking the front, and he can do his damage reflect, which can contribute a little bit of damage, not great in the Alpha Bear boss, because the Alpha Bear is hitting everyone on your team. He's not just focusing all of his damage on Thorin, so the damage reflect is not going to be so valuable. But if we look at the damage at the end of this fight, Coco is going to get popped, but Smokey is still alive, which is good. If Smokey can survive, that's the main thing you want here. Coco is just to buy the time for your team, then Smokey keeps giving the attack and haste buff. And as you can tell, even with Thorin, without Reinier at Mythic Plus, we're going to get almost 30 million, if not more than 30 million damage. It might even be more overall damage because Odie is still surviving in the backline. Odie doesn't get nuked because he's not in the front line. So again, very solid team, not even requiring Reinier Mythic Plus for the Alpha Bear. And I really think that is a good option for you. If you have Reinier and you're in endless mode, Odie doesn't have an issue surviving. You can teleport him into the front line and he will act as that melee hero. In my opinion, it's best to run 2 damage dealers because 1 damage dealer is not going to be enough to maximize your damage. And then on top of that, of course, Smokey is going to be key here. In any Dream Realm boss that there's no major interruption, Smokey is going to be good. Even though the boss reduces the effectiveness of your heals with the honey stack, Smokey is still going to be the best option because the attack and haste buff is so valuable. There is still some value for the healing, even though it's heavily reduced by 80% effectiveness, but that's only when someone is stacked with honey. Before they're stacked with honey, they have normal healing effectiveness. And then finally, if your Smokey is Mythic Plus, he will contribute decent damage as well with his blue aura. And we'll check the damage chart at the end of this battle. I'll try to remember to do that. And then we have Coco here for protection. You need to run Coco in Alpha Bear and Lone Gaze. Even in endless mode, you need to run Coco to give your team ability to survive longer, because in the other bosses in endless mode, I don't remember if I'm running Coco in... I'm definitely not running Coco in most of them. Maybe I'm not running Coco at all anymore because you're just trying to maximize your damage. But for the Alpha Bear and Lone Gaze, they do still deal a lot of damage. They can kill your team, and so Coco for the survivability is important. Coco at Mythic Plus is the main aim you want to shoot for because she will then have the shielding along with her damage reduction staggering ultimate. So this is my ultimate team. I'm going to test it in battle. I like the Quick Blade spell instead of Evocation spell because it will contribute to a bit more damage, and also it gives you the defenses. And because this boss, as you can tell, we're gonna jump into the fight, but the boss is going to nuke you from full health. And if you're being nuked from full health, that's when the defenses are going to be more valuable for you than, for example, the evocation spell, which can sustain yourself back up. Because you're going to see that for the most part of this fight, right up until we're dying, we're going to be at full health, we're going to have shields, but then the boss is going to deal really high damage to those enemies who are all stacked up with honey, and he is just going to kill them. And so if you have the defenses, I feel like it gives you more survivability. And also, Quick Blade spell is going to increase Merrili's damage by periodically reducing the physical defense of the boss. Yeah, so right there, Coco already died, and that's really bad for us. Sometimes Coco even manages to survive that burst, and we're able to get off more damage because of that. But even then, Merrily is still going to be here alone on the back and still dealing her damage. I want to take a look at my previous best. This was 30.5 billion damage, and our previous best was 30.9. Okay, so it was pretty similar, even though Coco got nuked a little bit earlier on. We forgot to look at the damage. We're going to do the run again, and then we'll check the damage. But because you're dying, if your team is dying before the end of the boss fight, then that is when Coco is going to be a good option, because she's going to prolong the fight duration and allow you to get off a little bit more damage. And really the only other possibility would be running a third damage dealer, like for example a Mythic plus Corrin instead of Coco, but I don't think that would be as good, because your Corrin is maybe now in Endless mode, Corrin might contribute more. We can do one test actually of Corrin, but for the most part, just keeping your Merrily alive and then also OD stacking up the damage is going to be more valuable than running a third damage dealer and having everyone wipe quite a bit earlier. So if Coco can survive this burst, which is going to happen right now when her ultimate wears off, which probably she won't be able to because... Oh, she got it. Okay, so she survived right here. This is what you want for maximum damage, but even then, they're still going to all go down with this honey attack. And Merrily is still going to be the last one standing. So we'll test with Thorin. We have to test with Thorin. We also want to test with... almost a new best, 30.92, and our best previously was like 30.95 or something. So when we look at the damage, Odie actually, this is really crazy to me, because the previous time I was fighting with Merrily and Odie, Merrily heavily outdamaged Odie by like almost 3 billion damage. Here the damage is almost neck and neck, even though Merrily outsurvived the Odie. So maybe it's even better to have your OD the higher level. We have Merrily at 480 and OD at 470, so you can experiment with the two. I don't think it'll make that much of a difference, but look at the smoky damage as well. So you have a lot of damage sources on this team, and that's why I think if we run Corrin instead of Coco, we can try it, but I feel like it won't do as well, because it's better to just have these two really hard-hitting damage dealers protected with the Coco than running a third damage dealer. But let's try it.
You'll need my spear.
You can experiment with Evocation Spell as well. It really is up to your choice. Evocation Spell will also increase your damage with the crit and attack. It also gives you periodic shielding, attack buffs, lifesteal. Although the lifesteal is not going to be as important, like we mentioned, because you're usually full health when the boss is just going to nuke you and kill you. And from what I've seen is that you're going to die at a similar point each time, whether you have Evocation Spell or Quick Blade Spell, so I thought might as well just go for Quick Blade for a little bit more damage. But if we're going to run a team like this without Coco at all, it might be the better option to go for Evocation Spell if that could give us a bit more survivability. Yeah, so already Odie's getting taken down a little bit low, Smokey is also getting taken down, but we're still able to get our blue aura ultimate off 50 seconds down. Now Smokey goes down, and Coco would have protected the Smokey there. And that's the thing, without Coco, Smokey is going to die prematurely, and then your attack and haste buff wear off, and if Smokey isn't done dealing the damage, that also wears off. Yeah, so clearly the Coco team is way better than the Corrin team, but we can take a look at the damage contribution to see how much was contributed. Corrin did a lot of damage, but the problem is it will just not survive for long enough. So hopefully this gave you a good idea of the different types of teams you can run. This is the best team without Reinier Mythic Plus in my opinion. I think the best true damage dealers for the boss are Merrily and OD. Even though Corrin dealt a lot of damage, I still think that we saw in the first run that Merrily and OD both dealt like 11.5 billion damage, and I think it's going to be difficult for Corrin to out-damage them. Like if, for example, we ran like, the other problem is a factional bonus. If you're running Reinier, then maybe you can go for Merrily and Corrin, but then you can't. The thing is, you need to have someone tanking the front line of the boss. And so if you wanted to go for example, Reinier, and instead of Odie you wanted to go for something like Corrin, it will not work, because Corrin will be one tile away from the boss, so the boss will consider no adjacent enemies, and then he will deal his massive damage to your entire team. So Corrin is not going to be the suitable here. You would need to be running Thorin or something, but it will depend on your heroes, which ones you have a Mythic Plus. You could definitely try a team like this. This would also work out well. You want to have 2 damage dealers, Merrily and OD, Merrily and Corrin, but you need to have someone tanking the front line. So, and again, if we're talking about the heroes you're running here, you need to have Merrily at Mythic Plus if you want her to be effective in Dream Realm. Otherwise, she's not a good option. You should replace her for another one, either Corrin or OD, or you should replace it for Cecia, some other form of damage, or just some other form of support, because Merrily before Mythic Plus is not going to be contributing much damage at all. Odie can work even without being Mythic Plus, but he is much better at Mythic Plus. Corrin also needs Mythic Plus if you even want to consider him. And Quick Blade Spell or Evocation Spell, you can try both of them and see which one does better for you. But I think Quick Blade Spell for Endless Mode is a bit better. And that's pretty much my team. We're rank 2, and in the district we're also rank 4. And we're even competing against people who are higher level than us. Like, they're quite higher level than we are, so even to be rank 2 in the server and rank 4 in the district is pretty good. Although there's a lot of time left, more people are yet to attack, but we have been like quite consistently in like rank 7, rank 8 of the entire district, even though our levels are actually rank 10 of the district. If you take a look at the levels over here, rank 10. And if you compared it to the other people, they're, yeah, substantially higher level than us, but still we're almost competing in terms of damage. So I do think this is one of the most effective teams. Hopefully you can have success with it in the Alpha Bear. And prior to the Endless Mode, before you get into Endless Mode, you can run the same team. I ran the same team for a long time, but maybe you want to go for the Thorin version rather than teleporting Odie into the front line, because in the earlier stages where you need your OD protected a bit more, I think Thorin is a good option, maybe even better than Reinier at Mythic Plus. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. That was going to be it for this one. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, because we upload daily AFK journey content, and lately we've been uploading multiple videos per day with updates and guides and things to help you progress and stay up to date with everything related to AFK journey. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. I will hopefully see you in the next one, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.